I grew up wanting more than anything to, one, play football, and two, I wanted to be in the Army. If you go back to my kindergarten yearbook, it says in my yearbook, it says, "What is your goal?" And my goal was that I wanted to play fullback at West Point. That was my dream in kindergarten. I went to Davidson, I played football, I did ROTC, and so I was in the Army for 4 years. I was stationed in Germany. I was assigned to 2nd Cavalry Regiment, 4th Squadron, Pale Horse Troop. I was a platoon leader there and then an executive officer, but our troop was a reconnaissance troop. We got the opportunity to go deploy a couple times to Afghanistan. Had a great experience in the Army. I think that's one of the most honorable professions there are, but when it came down to it, basically the fun parts of being in the Army are early on in the career. You get to lead men, you get to develop men, you get to develop relationships. And after those first 4 years, you kind of, as an Army officer, may or may not get those opportunities for the next 12 to 13 years of your career. I had a friend at the time that was in the college coaching profession, and I reached out to him and kind of picked his brain. And I realized that the same things that I loved about the early years in the Army was what you get as a football coach on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool when you get an opportunity to have a veteran part of your staff. And for our players, sometimes they don't truly understand what people have done for this country. So they might have a family member that serves the country, but they don't actually appreciate that enough.
Run by him! Make good decisions!
He had just got here when I got here. So me and him were on a pretty similar timeline of being here. So I think solely that helps a lot, the fact that there hasn't been much change. That's something I'm very thankful for. He's awesome, as you can see. He's just a good person.
It's the same, age group. It's very similar. You might have a couple older guys in an Army platoon, but it's very similar. And I think that the same thing. There's a lot of tough times in the Army, especially in deployments. And there's a lot of tough times in football, whether it's during a game or during practice or whatever it be. But I think the biggest thing is positivity. Positivity conquers all, energy conquers all. And as a leader, the moment that you don't have those things and the moment that you're down in the dumps, I think everyone else is going to follow, and that's not going to help you accomplish anything.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Coach KB is just the amount of juice that he brings every day. Special teams, that's something we emphasize day in, day out, and especially what makes the difference in our games. And so we know that, and we take a lot of pride in that, and he does a great job of getting guys ready to go and incorporating everybody. Special teams, there's a huge amount of field position up for grabs every single play. Right? So on every punt, there's 40 yards at stake, and every kickoff, there's 65 yards at stake, and whoever grabs a greater piece of that field position holds a huge advantage for their team. So a lot of different things going on. Obviously, you got punts, you got kickoffs, you got everyone doing different jobs every single play, but it's important that everyone does their individual job, and it's all part of one greater vision.
We got to do a good job of flying down the field.
Well, his leadership style is great. It's tremendous. I mean, it's not just the discipline or his military style. It's more his effective way of communicating and capturing an audience and making sure they listen.
I think going on year 3, the one thing that you can say about Georgia is that the demands here are clearly defined and they're incredibly consistent. And with a head coach like Kirby Smart, as an assistant coach, you're able to uphold those demands and maintain that consistency along with them. I think everyone in the program knows exactly what's going to be expected of them when they walk on the practice field, when they walk on the meeting room. And I think that's an organization that you would love to be a part of because you know exactly what you're going to get out of the players, out of the coaches every single day.
I mean, really inspiring. I know a lot of the specialists, they get to spend more time with them, but from the amount of time that I get to spend with him, I can see that. I can see his background comes out and how detailed and organized he is, but he also knows how to cut up and, just a great overall coach, and really lucky to have him.
Every question we ask him, we know he has the answer to. We'll be like, what's that formation? Or like, what's this mean? And he'll be like, actually, well, this rule means this rule, stuff like that. So his knowledge of special teams is insane, and all the boys love him. He's got a really good relationship with all of us in the room, so we all feel super close.
It's all about relationships. It's about relationships with the people that you lead. It's about relationships with the people that are your peers. It's about relationships with the people that are your superiors. But being able to have a disposition where you can relate to all three effectively, I think is huge. And you've got to know how to reach each individual person, especially the ones that you're leading and developing and training, because everyone's going to have a different way of accomplishing their goal. And you've got to be the person that helps them get there.